D-Lo 404 Boxing and more here. Just want to make a quick video about the news that Canelo is moving up to super middleweight to challenge, what's the guy's name, Rocky Fielding, I think it is, for a second tier WBA super middleweight title. Before I get in that, I just want to say welcome to the channel to new viewers. Welcome back to the channel to my subscribers and repeat viewers. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I ask that you please subscribe. If you're feeling the content, please like and comment. For anyone who's really paid attention to what's going on in the career of Canelo Alvarez over the years, there shouldn't be no surprise that he's not interested in that Canelo fight right now. Anyone who's followed the career of Canelo over the past several years should not be surprised that he's willing to take this opportunity to move up to super middleweight to claim a championship in yet another division. Anyone who's followed the career of Canelo Alvarez over the last several years should not be surprised that the guy that Canelo is fighting for this championship won't be viewed as a viable threat to beat Canelo. Anyone who's followed Canelo's career over the past several years should not be surprised that Canelo isn't going up to super middleweight to challenge one of the legitimate super middleweight champions. Anyone who's followed Canelo Alvarez's career over the last several years should not be surprised, even if come April, not April, I'm stuck on that Joshua situation. Come Cinco de Mayo next year, Canelo still doesn't get his shot, and Canelo is lining up a fight with David Lemieux or someone along that line. Anyone who's followed the career of Canelo Alvarez over the last several years should not be surprised that of all the contenders and legitimate threats at middleweight, Canelo has chosen to basically disregard all of them and take a fight at super middleweight. I say all of that to say this. Canelo Alvarez has always been that guy who moves around to do things that on paper look good, but in reality, if you look past that first layer, aren't very impressive whatsoever. Canelo's that guy that has never gotten clear separation in any of his tough fights. They've always been debatable decisions. You know, like I've said in other videos, that this is a guy who didn't even get a unanimous decision loss versus Floyd Mayweather. I think it ended up being a majority decision where one of the judges scored a draw for Canelo. So Canelo is clearly one of the darlings of the sport. Sanctioning bodies love him. He has a huge fan base. He does great pay-per-view numbers. And there's not going to be a ton of pressure from the masses for Canelo to put himself in harm's way. Canelo is one of those, those things that people just want to see keep rolling along, and they're not going to put a ton of pressure on him to really stick his neck out there. I mean, I remember this was a guy who, despite James Kirkland no longer looking like the James Kirkland that was dominating guys early on, This was a guy who, when when the fight came up for him to fight James Kirkland, Canelo and his team. Now, this is what I heard. I've never seen paperwork or never seen it, anything official. But from what I understood, put a clause in the contract that said Kirkland could not have Ann Wolfe in his corner for that fight. So, that in of itself, being that I believed that to be true, and I lost a lot of respect for Canelo behind that. But I'm not going to delve into this too tough. I could probably make 100 videos about Canelo, but I'm not going to drag this one on too long. It's late. But I just want to say, I understand guys can't just fight tough fight after tough fight after tough fight. I mean, they can, but, I understand them not doing that. But that said, it's disappointing to see Canelo go up to super middleweight when there's good fights for him to have right there at middleweight. But he's moving up not to fight some guy that, who means something to the middleweight picture. He's not some guy that's actually one of the top guys at super middleweight. I'm sorry. I may have said middleweight, I may have said junior middleweight, but I mean super middleweight. He's not even a guy that most of us ever heard of. I saw a picture of the guy, and I saw on a 78 video where somebody put in the comments, they look like Aaron Rodgers. Shout out to 78, and shout out to the guy that made the comment. The dude does look like Aaron Rodgers, which is funny. But I'm telling you, that guy gets in there with Canelo. I'm pretty sure this is one of those. I looked at some highlights of the dude. What I could find, he didn't look impressive whatsoever. But again, that's not a surprise that this is the guy that Canelo chose to go up to super middleweight and fight. But that said, I'm not giving Canelo a pass, but I'm not gonna harp on it too much. It is what it is. But I also know that Canelo has designs on fighting Triple G again. So, that could be what's in the plans for Cinco de Mayo next year. And I think, it's one of those fights where, Canelo probably could care less about vacating a belt. If that's the fight he wants, he'll vacate his belt, and then Charlo can fight somebody else for the belt, and Canelo will fight Triple G again, or he'll fight Lemieux, or he'll fight pretty much whoever he wants to fight, because the reality is most guys out there aren't going to turn down the Canelo fight just because of the money that he brings to the table. But, this said, I think this is a chump move by Canelo, but, it's no surprise to me. On that note, I'm going to get on out of here. Thanks for watching the video. Peace.